So this is how they start the invasion angle with Trick and Oba having a good match that ends in a DQ. I get why it ended in a DQ, and I don't want it to be a double champion between NXT and TNA, but I don't like how consistently we get these no contest and DQ finishes. But aside from that, the invasion angle I do like, but I think there's a third party that needs to be involved, which is AAA. AAA and TNA had a working relationship and still do, even with this with WWE owning AAA now and WWE and TNA having a partnership. I don't see TNA being bought out by WWE, but I think even with AAA being bought, there's a particular somebody that can drive the rift between AAA and WWE and make that into a storyline where AAA and TNA works against WWE in a War Games match or at War Games in general, since WWE has been winning their championships. Welcome to Influential Sports, where passion meets precision. As I'm your host Ed, diving deep into the plays, players, and stories shaping the game. And this is episode 4 of We Opp Hunting. And in this edition of Opp Hunting, I will break down how Mr. Iguana should win the NXT North American Championship. And it's a deeper reason to just his popularity, but I think this would be a good idea because of the relationship between WWE, TNA, and AAA. And I had a short I made about it. I have that on here. I had that before you see my intro. So, yeah, with WWE owning AAA, they've won their Los Garzas won their tag titles. Dominic is a AAA mega champion right now. WWE has won the TNA knockouts and men's world title, and Trick still has the men's world title. So I think that it's time for one of these other companies to win gold from the other side. And obviously with TNA and WWE having the invasion angle, I think that AAA has to get involved since they've had a working relationship with TNA in the past leading up to this, and they've been doing some cool stuff with WWE and TNA as well. It's been interpromotional stuff between all three brands, especially during Worlds Collide. And I think the perfect way, I think a AAA wrestler should hold since WWE owns them. I think it should be a AAA wrestler that holds a WWE title, and I think this is the perfect format and foundation for how you do that. So it would start at No Mercy with this weekend, September 27th. I will have Ethan Page call out Dr. Wagner, the guy that made him tap out on NXT. I will have him call that a fluke, and then Wagner asks for a title shot since he beat him, and Ethan Page accepts, but it's not at No Mercy. It's going to be a Halloween Havoc a month later. So, and then they'll build up to that in the next few weeks. And then later in the show, I will have Lola Vice in her match against Jacy Jayne be seconds away from winning the NXT Women's World Championship. And then Hydra, who is Mr. Iguana's tag team partner, I will have her cause her music hit and cause a distraction, and she don't even come out, but that ends up being the reason that Lola Vice loses. Then on September 30th, that episode of NXT, Mr. Iguana could attempt to apologize to Lola Vice, but Hydra, his tag partner, she slaps him, and then Lola Vice attacks her, and then that whole segment, then Steph will follow up after that. Then on that same episode, I would have Dr. Wagner, whatever. I'm just filling with Dr. Wagner because his name is long as hell. But I would have him get attacked backstage by Ethan Page. He'd be doing an interview segment, and then Ethan Page just come out of nowhere and attack him. October 7th, I would do Lola Vice versus Hydra with Mr. Iguana as a special guest referee, and that's where he finally makes his decision where his loyalty lies, with his tag team partner and his mixed tag team champion, Hydra, or with Lola Vice, who he's been teaming with in the past. And obviously she's took offense to that over these past few weeks, and they even had a tag match where they teamed up to take on Lola Vice and Santino. But Mr. Iguana's been teaming up with Lola Vice recently. He's been making TikToks with her, and then this is where the decision is finally made to where he has a much faster count for his tag team partner, and she ends up winning the match, defeating Lola Vice in a competitive, I say, 10-minute match. And then you have that same night, Ethan Page defeat Psycho Clown, and Dr. Wagner defeat Tavion Heights, and this is a beat the clock challenge. So whoever wins in the fastest time gets to pick the stipulation for their match. And I'll have Ethan Page win in 5 minutes and 1 second, have Dr. Wagner win in 4 minutes and 44 seconds, and Dr. Wagner deciding that the match is going to be a lumberjack match at Halloween Havoc. So then on October 14th, that episode of NXT, I would have Ethan Page and Dr. Wagner had her contract signed for Halloween Havoc, and then there's still some other stuff I think they could do leading up to that. But that's where I do their contract signing. And then for Lola Vice, I have her cut a very um, emotional promo, which most of her promos sound emotional anyways. And so this one shouldn't be too hard. Have her cut an emotional promo, and then Damian Priest comes backstage to comfort her. And then with, like I said, Los Garza and Dominic have won AAA titles on the main roster, so why not bring down Damian Priest for a little bit to do something to NXT for a few weeks, since we know about his that he's close with Lola Vice outside of wrestling. And then Lola Vice, after that emotional promo, you could have Mr. Iguana expose Lola Vice for trying to take him away from his tag team partner, leak some DMs between the two, and then they could do that and these could be two separate segments of the emotional promo and Mr. Iguana exposing Lola Vice. Like, it could be two different segments. Then that next week on NXT, October 21st, I would have Damian Priest defeat Mr. Iguana Queen in a match. And then Priest and Lola Vice, they challenge Iguana and Hydra for the AAA Mixed World Tag Team titles at Halloween Havoc, and they accept that challenge, which is going to be. And then on that same episode, to end it, I would have Dr. Wagner reveal his 6 lumberjacks, which would be three people from it'll be 4 people from AAA, 2 people from TNA, and then Ethan Page reveal his 6 lumberjacks, and it'll be 3 people from Evolve and 3 people from NXT, all heels for Ethan Page, all faces for actually heel and, yeah, it could be all faces for Dr. Wagner. Then October 25th at Halloween Havoc, I will have La Hydra and Mr. Iguana defeat Lola Vice and Damian Priest to retain the AAA World Mixed Tag titles. So there's no need for them to lose it, but I think this would be a good spotlight for both of them, since it gives Priest something else to do. Since there's not much for him to do on the main roster right now, I'm not saying just send them down just because, but AAA has showed that they're working with the main roster and NXT, and Damian Priest and Lola Vice have chemistry outside of the ring, so why not test it out on screen and see what it leads to? And this is where, and if it goes well, you could continue it in the future. Maybe that's how you call Lola Vice, have her and Damian Priest doing stuff together. Or maybe it doesn't go well and you have Priest go back up to the main roster and do something in the mid card. But I think La Hydra, her getting more of a shine, like, because I haven't seen much from her, but I think it'd be nice for the WWE fans to see that it's other women that maybe they could bring something to the roster, and not even that they have to be on WWE, but they could just show them more prominently throughout NXT within the partnership with TNA. And I think this would be a good tag team match for them to have, and it'd be a good. And Mr. Iguana, he gets crazy crowd reactions in AAA and in WWE, so I think it's only the right choice for them to retain the titles. And then Ethan Page, he will retain the title versus Dr. Wagner in that Lumberjack match. He will retain the NXT North American Championship. And despite Dr. Wagner being the one that picked the stipulation, Ethan Page will still be able to defy the odds and retain the title. I think that's obvious. Him losing to Dr. Wagner, that's not the choice, because he's not as popular as Mr. Iguana. And I think as far as moveset goes, it's like, I think, and Mr. Iguana isn't bad in the ring, but he's pretty solid. But I think it would mean more if Mr. Iguana won it because of the story that he has to lead him up to this. Like, Dr. Wagner doesn't really have a story with Ethan Page. If anything, it would make more sense if he was on SmackDown going after maybe Santos or somebody like that. Since they were in that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match with Los Garzas when they won the tag titles, like, that would just make more sense from a story standpoint. Then following Halloween Havoc, October 28th, have Ethan Page start the show, claiming that nobody can stop him. I done ran through the whole division, and ain't nobody that can stop me from holding this North American Championship. Then Mr. Iguana, he arrives, and he was like, I want to add more gold to my collection. I don't want to just be known as a mixed tag team wrestler. Then Ethan could respond like, tag wins don't equate to singles gold. And then Mr. Iguana, he responds with, I'll prove myself by any means necessary. Then Ethan Page can respond with, he lays out the proposition that if you can go 5-0 in the next 5 weeks against opponents that I pick, and I'm the special guest referee for each match, then you can get your title shot. And while these are crazy odds to defy, Mr. Iguana says, I accept, no problem. I'll prove myself, and I will be the next NXT North American Champion. And so then you get November 4th, Mr. Iguana defeating Brooks Jensen, Ethan Page, and then Ethan Page, he don't do much in this match. He just picked Brooks Jensen just to get a feel just to see more of what Mr. Iguana is like, because it's not like Brooke Jensen is getting many wins anyways. And then Ethan Page, he have a random match against Dax, and then he'll get that win. Maybe Tony D gets involved. Just something to keep Ethan Page fresh, because you don't want him going just a weeks without wrestling. Like, it still needs to be points within this where Ethan Page is wrestling. So then it's going to be other story stuff that plays a part into it with Ethan Page having his matches, because I don't want to wrestle him just like every week, but I do want him to wrestle at least a little bit within this timeline. Then November 11th, NXT, and Mr. Iguana goes 2-on-1, goes 1-on-2 against Hank and Tank, and then Mr. Iguana gets the win, and they have a promo post-match. Ethan Page calls it luck, and then Mr. Iguana, he's like, I'm ready for any challenge. Then I'm going to do whatever it takes to become the next North American champion. November 18th, NXT, have Mr. Iguana defeat Josh Briggs. Then Ethan Page and Mr. Iguana stare each other down. Then November 25th is where I have Ethan wrestle again. Have him lose a match to Andre Chase due to by him interfering and costing him the match and distracting him throughout the match, being the reason that he loses. And then Mr. Iguana, I will have him defeat Ridge Holland. Ethan Page did everything he can in his power to make Mr. Iguana lose, but he just defied the odds and win that match versus Ridge Holland. Then December 2nd will be the only match that Ethan Page calls fair special guest referee, which is Mr. Iguana versus Ricky Saints, and Mr. Iguana will get the win there as well. And then Mr. Iguana would have completed the gauntlet, went 5-0, one of those being a handicap match, 4 of those being where it was complete bias against him. The only match that wasn't biased is because he equally hates Ricky Saints just as much as he hates Mr. Iguana in this storyline. And then after that, after he goes 5-0, Ethan Page says, you will get your wish of Christmas week. So December 23rd. So we have 2 more episodes to build up this feud before the week of Christmas, which would be 2 days before Christmas, that NXT, which is when they would have that match. So December 9th, NXT, I would have Mr. Iguana and Ethan Page do a promo, and then it ends with them shaking hands. It don't end with an attack. It'll be Ethan Page playing mind games by shaking his hand and doing something that nobody expected. It's very tactical. It's like not everything has to end in a brawl, and this would be something different that people aren't expecting. It's not like it's a face turn. That's not what we're getting here. It's just something to play mind games to confuse Mr. Iguana, to throw off the fans. Then on the December 16th edition of NXT, that's when I have Mr. Iguana and Ethan Page do the contract signing. With them have Ava and whoever is the manager of AAA had them out there. And then December 23rd, NXT, 2 days before Christmas, a last man standing match, Mr. Iguana versus Ethan Page. And with all the experience that Mr. Iguana got wrestling the NXT guys, he was wrestling more consistently to be more durable going into this match compared to Ethan Page, and that would be the story of this, with Ethan Page not being as durable as Mr. Iguana, as he's competing in the singles division on NXT while also being a mixed tag champion in AAA, and he ends up winning the last man standing match against on the December 23rd edition of NXT to close out the show. Going in, this is Christmas week. This is how you start off Christmas week with a bang. It'll probably be pre-recorded because they don't wrestle during Christmas week now, so it'll probably be pre-recorded that December 16th, but I would end the show with a bang, and that's a good way to end the year, because he's not going to lose it next week, and then you're ushering into the new year with a AAA wrestler being a WWE champion for the first time ever. This will be the first time ever that a AAA wrestler has won a WWE title, and obviously they just bought him, so it hasn't been super long, but it'll be history making. Like I said, Mr. Iguana, he's solid in the ring. He gets great reactions. The stuff he does with the Lieska doll, that's pretty over with the fans. Like I said, very popular. I think, and he don't need to have a super long reign, but I think he has a good enough build up, and he proves himself that he can be more than solid in the ring. And I think he got a good social media presence. Like, he pretty much has it all. My only thing I like to see more of with Mr. Iguana is just some more promos. I think if he just cut some more promos, I think he could seriously sell people as being, and this is for a mid-card title. It's not like I'm putting a world title on him. So I think this would be the perfect way for Ethan Page to lose it, just becoming overconfident in himself and not being as durable, because he wasn't wrestling as much. He was focused on being a referee in Mr. Iguana's chase for the championship. And I think this would be perfect because it'll play into a story of Mr. Iguana turn on Lola Vice because he knew where he's AAA all the way down. So him just representing AAA and then being the first AAA wrestler to win a WWE title, I think it'll be one of the bigger stories. And this is how I would book it. I have it be. I would stretch it out a little bit. Don't do it instantly. You don't got to do it super quick, but give them some time to improve. Give them time for the WWE crowd to get used to him, and then just like his social media presence would continue to grow. I think it could only improve if he was in the spotlight, and it's a good way to put him in the mid card. So if you do ever want to put a world title on him, specifically in AAA, like if AAA ever plans on making him world champion, a good start would be, can he be a mid card champion? Can he tell a mid card story in NXT and WWE's developmental brand? And if he can do that, then we can get him out of the tag division. He can still have his tag partner, but we can put the AAA Mega Championship on him because I think he's that big. Like he's that popular to where I think it's just a few more stories and a few more really like some solid stories and some solid promos. I think that could really get people sold, and I think this would be the perfect way to do it to get me. Like somebody in AAA, somebody in TNA, they gotta win WWE Gold at some point because WWE been collecting all their titles. But this is how I would book it because obviously it takes time because you got to build up the right story. And I think this is the most fleshed out story that I could come up with. I think it's the most fleshed out story I came out with. And I think it would be the perfect scenario for AAA and WWE because Ethan Page, his reign would continue to be better within this. Like it wouldn't be like he's just losing to some bum. I think this would be a good way to end his the title reign, just ruin his Christmas week. But leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, comment what y'all thought, and share for others to see. Peace.